Historical markers, they commemorate places and people or events. How they look or how you can apply for one depends on the state that you live in.
Yeah, there's an historical marker in Sussex County that's actually less than a year old. It not only commemorates a place with profound historic significance, it's part of important African American history in the state of Delaware. In this week's Marker Monday, we head to Jason Beach.
It was pretty exciting to
Growing up in Laurel, Martina Adams was no stranger to what was commonly known as Cypress Point at Trap Pond State Park.
Absolutely, I was actually baptized here.
But she says it wasn't until she started working for Delaware State Parks that she fully understood the significance of the beach.
Which is sad and also pretty exciting at the same time that everything came full circle and I was able to take part in the dedication or the renaming or the return of the name of Jason Beach.
For generations, Jason Beach was a recreation area for the local black community.
The park was segregated, although without signs, it was socially segregated.
Director of Delaware State Parks Ray Bivens says although there was no segregation required by law in the state park system during the 1950s and 60s, it was understood Jason Beach was for black visitors and Headquarters Beach across the pond was for white visitors.
Jason's Beach, we're in the backside of the campground now, had many of the same amenities as Headquarters Beach, which was the other side, kind of where we're looking off in that direction.
He says by the early 60s, disparities between Jason Beach and Headquarters Beach were evident.
This side of the park did not appear to get the same funding as the other side of the park. Even though parks as a whole had budget problems, you could see different amounts of money spent on the concessions and the bathrooms and things like that.
For many of those who enjoyed the beach, it was just a place to have fun and make memories.
A very popular location. The memories that were here of people from everything from picnics to church services to there was a restaurant, even a jukebox that a lot of people remembered.
People like Jonathan Kellum Sr. of Laurel.
My uncles and the bishop, when we'd come down for our baptism and stuff, everybody would cook, and stuff and bring some, come down the dirt road, and we didn't really think we were without. We made do.
Then, in 1963, a wrong turn sparked a call for change. 3 busloads of African American children arrived at Headquarters Beach for a Red Cross swim lesson. Park staff turned the children away. Public outcry forced the State Park Commission to address the non-official segregation. The following year, the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 effectively ended having 2 separate reserved beaches at Trap Pond. The state even tried to change the name of the beach.
I went before a state commission and it was discussed changing the name away because even when there wasn't swimming here, people think beach, they think of swimming, but it was said, no, the Jason's Beach name should stay. And then years later, over time, it just changed to Cypress Point.
Jason Beach was named for Dr. William C. Jason, the second and longest serving president of Delaware State University. Last year, Governor John Carney formally renamed the site Jason Beach in recognition of its historic significance.
It was really nice that when Governor Carney and other elected officials were here to kind of rededicate it as Jason's Beach. And the interpretation we have now is just first class. People in their own words that were kids or worked here in the concessions.
Leading up to the event, the Division of Parks staff compiled a history of the area and conducted interviews with people who remembered Jason Beach. That history is displayed throughout the park.
The family that ran the food concession gave us some oral histories. Any visitor, any day, can come, bring their cell phone. They've taken right to the site and they can listen to the stories about what it was like at that time, how important this place is, and learn about the history just using the signs along the way.
History told by those who lived it.
Well, in our business, we're storytellers, and we unfortunately tell a lot of the stories of people that are long gone. In history, it was always so important about where George Washington spent a night. Well, in reality, what people care about and want to learn more about is the history of the common people, what life was really like.
That's important for Martina. and even more important for the next generation.
Well, I think about my own daughter. She was here during the celebration, and she actually caught a fish for the first time. So I think that, and it's not her first time being at Trapp Pond, and it wasn't a lot of people's first time being here, but I think that the renaming gave people a sense of belonging and pride, and feeling like something was to return back to them.
Something that will forever be marked in history.
And as Bivens mentioned, you can learn more about the history of Jason Beach on the Delaware State Parks website. You'll also find audio files of interviews with people who have memories of Jason Beach from the 50s and 60s. And I think it's interesting how they talk about, they didn't know that they were separate from everyone else.
Right.
They just were having fun and making memories.
That is amazing.
It is.
The things to learn.
Yeah.